Alright, welcome back. In this video, we're going to go over basics of digestion. Since this is a chill video, I want to first do a progress report. So thank you so much. We've gotten 274 subscribers, which is incredible. In the past 28 days, we got 1.3 thousand views, 60 hours of watch time, and we gained 63 subscribers. So thank you so much. If you're wondering if I'm rich yet and I'm making money from YouTube, I am not, unfortunately. I still need to pass the 500 subscriber threshold and the 3,000 hours of watch time, which is like insane. YouTube really does not want me to make money. So thank you so much. And if you're new, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. That'll be fantastic for me. Like, come on, the algorithm, come on. All right, let's begin. Humans consume 4 types of macromolecules. We consume polysaccharides, also known as carbohydrates, nucleic acids, which is DNA and RNA, proteins, and fats, mainly in the triglyceride form. Now, for the course of biochemistry, we don't really go over nucleic acids, which is DNA and RNA. It's not actually in the biochemistry course, so we're not going to go over it. However, I will make a video if you guys want. So a little fun fact here before we start. You probably looked at a nutrition label once in your life, hopefully. The first thing you probably look at is how many calories something has. Then you probably look at the amount of fat, the amount of carbs, and the amount of protein. Here's what's pretty cool. 1 gram of carbs equals 4 calories. 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. And 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. Sometimes it's 4 or 5. It really depends. So this is how they're calculating this number, is by adding all this up. Now the number turns out to be a little bit more, but if you subtract something like dietary fibers, then you should get the calories. But anyways, that's a little fun fact. We don't care about that though. What we care about is digestion. And humans are flawed. You may be arrogant and say, no, humans are the most intelligent species on this planet. We're amazing. Well, we are amazing, but we're not the best. And I can prove it to you. We have to consume food. We have to physically eat food for us to survive. Plants don't need to physically eat anything. They just stare at the sun and gain energy. They just photosynthesize. So in terms of getting energy, plants are way more advanced than humans. By far. Imagine if we could just photosynthesize. We would never have to pay for any food ever again. So humans are not actually able to absorb macromolecules. My goodness, English is hard today. Sorry. So we are not able to absorb these macromolecules. So we need to break them down for our body to absorb. On the left-hand side here, we have polymers, which are the polysaccharides like carbs, nucleic acids, proteins, and fats. Now we need to break them down into monomers, which are smaller subunits of polymers. So polysaccharides get broken down into monosaccharides. Nucleic acids like DNA and RNA get broken down into nucleotides. You probably know this as A, T, G, and C, and U for RNA. Proteins get broken down into amino acids. We learned about this in the beginning of the course. And fats get broken down into fatty acids and glycerol. Now there's something you need to know beforehand. And this is super, super important. Digestion and absorption are complete 2 different things. Digestion is when our body takes those huge macromolecules and turns them into monomers. So we use our teeth, our stomach, and enzymes to do so. So this is all digestion. We're breaking it down into the monomers. Absorption is when our body absorbs the monomers and turns them into resources like energy, minerals, vitamins, whatever our body needs to survive. So our stomach is used primarily for digestion. Our small intestines is mainly used for absorption. So let's begin with the first one, polysaccharides. Polysaccharides, also known as carbohydrates, are broken down into monosaccharides for our body to digest and absorb. There are a few types of polysaccharides, but the main three are starches, glycogen, and cellulose. So starch is what we use to break down for energy. Glycogen is how we store glucose, which we're going to learn about later in biochemistry when we actually get to it. Cellulose we don't learn because we are not plants. Cellulose is found in cell walls of plants. So how do we break down starch into sugars, a monomer? So here we have starch, and it's a polysaccharide here. We break it down into individual monosaccharides or individual molecules, and this is what our body is able to absorb. So this gets absorbed. Notice it uses water. So it's a hydrolysis reaction. Hydrolysis reactions are reactions where water is used to break up molecules into smaller ones. So that's exactly what we're doing, is we're using water to break it down. But it's a little bit more complicated than that. We need enzymes. There's something called salivary amylase. It's an enzyme that is in your saliva that actually breaks down polysaccharides. Pancreatic amylase is another amylase that breaks down starches, and it's located in the pancreas, and that does most of the breaking down. So the one in your saliva maybe does like 10% of the breaking down. The rest of the 90% is done from the pancreas. The pancreas makes amylase. And then it goes into small intestines, and that's where the rest of the digestion is occurring. Now, I can prove this to you that you actually have amylase in your saliva. So next time you're eating rice, I want you to chew it as much as possible. You'll notice that when you're chewing it, more and more saliva will be secreted. But keep chewing. At some point, you will notice the rice will start to turn sweet. It'll taste like sugar. That's exactly what is happening. This is what is making us taste the sweetness. When you're breaking down the polysaccharides into monosaccharides, we identified as sweet. So it's kind of cool. It's pretty cool. Now notice this is a hydrolysis reaction. So you're probably thinking, why don't I just eat starch, like something like carbohydrates, and drink water? Won't it just break it down? It will not. You would think that would happen from this reaction, but that's not actually what's happening. This requires an enzyme to do so, because we learned about enzymes. What they do is they strain bonds, and then the water can come and cleave it off and break it apart. So if we just add water to the mix, nothing would really happen. We need the enzyme to actually strain the bond first, and then water can come and cut it. So let's do proteins next. Proteins are broken up into amino acids. Yep, they are back. They never go away. Proteases break down proteins. There are certain proteases that break certain bonds between amino acids, like chymotrypsin. So here we have a polypeptide, which is a long string of amino acids. And then we do a hydrolysis reaction and break the peptide bond. And we get individual amino acids, which can be used for absorption in our small intestines. So this is what's being absorbed. A common enzyme is trypsin. Trypsin is a serine protease. You don't need to remember this. Just know that trypsin breaks down proteins. And it's a protease. It's found in the small intestines. Trypsinogen is found in the pancreas. It's the inactive form of trypsin. When trypsin is activated, it actually can activate chymotrypsin, which is another protease. So this is what trypsin looks like. Using computers, this is what we can figure out what the structure looks like. It's pretty cool. So once again, what proteases do is they break peptide bonds in polypeptides. So this is a peptide bond. We use the enzyme plus H2O. We do a hydrolysis reaction and we get individual amino acids. Now fats. Fats are a little bit different. The terms triglycerides and lipids are used interchangeably. Lipids is more of a broader term. Now here's something interesting that a lot of people actually get confused. Do not confuse the word fats and body fats. They are two different concepts. So let's go back here. So this type of fat is not body fat. So people think, oh my goodness, if I'm eating something with high amounts of fat, I'm going to get fat. That is not necessarily the case. They are two different concepts. Let me explain. You need fat to live. It protects organs and insulates your body. Now, if you consume more calories than you actually burn throughout the day, then you will gain body fat. Because your body, your brain is thinking, wait a second, I have so much excess energy, let me turn that into body fat. You could technically eat a lot of fat, like say 100 grams of fat a day, and you won't gain any body weight as long as you burn off those calories. Because remember, I said that fat is 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So it's a lot of energy. But if you were to burn all of this off, then you won't gain body fat. So there are two different concepts. So do not stay away from fat. Please consume fat. You need it for your body to live. It protects your organs so they don't get damaged. It also keeps you warm. So when we break down fats, the monomers we end up with are fatty acids and glycerol. So here we have a triglyceride. We're going to use the typical hydrolysis reaction, and we're going to end up with a glycerol molecule, fatty acids here. Lipase is made in the saliva, pancreas, and mouth. So lipase is what we use, is the enzyme we use to break down triglycerides into glycerol and fatty acids. Lipase. So lipase is found in the saliva. However, there's something very interesting. And actually kind of makes you question why. Yes, it is true that lipase is made in the saliva, some of it. But it does not activate in your mouth. It actually activates in a lower pH. So when you eat food, so when you consume food and it's in your mouth and you're chewing it, some of it there's lipase in there in your saliva, but it's not actually doing anything. It is not until you swallow it and enters your stomach, the pH of your stomach actually activates the lipase. So then it actually starts digesting. So you're probably wondering why even have lipase in your saliva anyways if it's not going to be activated until your stomach. That is a really, really good question, and we don't know why. It would be smart just to have it in our stomach and just have it there, because it feels like it's kind of unnecessary to have it in your saliva if it's not going to do anything. Might as well just have it secrete from your stomach. But no, that's how it works. It's also secreted from the mouth, like under your tongue as well. But mainly in the pancreas. That's what we care about. And that concludes the video. It's pretty easy, pretty chill. So, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. And until next time, later.